like providing some sort of legitimacy and legal recognition to the military junta. Very much, I think, in contravention to what ASEAN collectively has been doing so far together, as if that Samdech Hun Sen is carrying out his Myanmar responsibility according to his own wishes, his way, and forgetting the collective leadership and so on. Such activities would have a lot of implications for ASEAN as a whole, namely its collective undertaking to help solve the Myanmar crisis would be very much weakened. It also reflects the split in the joint position of ASEAN as a whole. And at the same time, I think it somewhat undermines the aspiration and the determination of the Myanmar people to fight for their democracy and to restore human rights practices in the whole of Myanmar and so on. And not only that, his very action would also undermine the integrity and credibility of ASEAN community as a whole, especially, I think, the so-called principle of ASEAN centrality in the architect of the whole of the, I think, Indo-Pacific or Asia-Pacific region and so on. And with this split, then it's not only undermine the credibility of ASEAN, but it would also weaken the progress of ASEAN, as an entity, a viable entity in the whole of Southeast Asia. Now, the problem is that what Hun Sen is doing is a concern to all of us. We are all worried, especially we who are Democrats, liberals, and those that have been advocating human rights practices and so on. But we can keep on calling, and I think, or even blaming Samdech Hun Sen, but I don't think that is really our responsibility. I believe that the responsibility rests with the other 8 ASEAN leaders, the Sultan of Brunei, the President of Indonesia, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, the Prime Minister of Singapore, the Prime Minister of Thailand, I think the leaders of Vietnam and Laos, all of them have to get together and tell Hun Sen to adhere to the 5-point approach and to work in a collective framework rather than being a sort of an individualistic and doing whatever he likes according to his own wishes and so on, disregarding the collective position of the ASEAN leaders. And in that sense, it is disrespectful.